Welcome back to the Burnt Tower interview series hosted by yours truly, SteveGuy. Today I'm joined by good friend and colleague Glacier. Welcome to the show, Glacier.
Hello, hello.
Now, Glacier's been around since the good old days of Season 2 and has been a dedicated member of the community and staff team ever since. On top of his contributions to the staff team, he's also a champion, winning it all back in Season 2. After a small hiatus and some replacement coaching, he's come back fully in action this season in Celebi, already picking up his first win against Lulz, and at the time of the writing of this, has yet to play Indelius. Have you played Indelius yet? I haven't checked.
Nope, we played tonight.
Okay, awesome. Well, good luck on that.
Thank you.
How has the return back to BTDL been for you?
I'm excited to be back. Definitely took quite a hiatus, I believe, since season either 5 or 6. I haven't played
Mm-hmm.
a full season. I've done a few replacement coaches here and there, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a weird but cool format, so I'm excited.
Brand new format. This is the first, like, low tier. And I'm sure the tiers are all over the place in the rules. But, yeah, you've always taken your first one against Lulz. Um, I watched a bit of the game. There's a lot of hacks going around in the form of crits and paralysis. You have any thoughts about your first game in Celebi? In your matchup with Lulz?
Yeah, so I was fairly confident. I feel like it was a pretty even matchup. Either of us could have came out with the win. We both had threats on either side, but based on my prep, I was feeling pretty confident going in. While there was some hacks, especially in the middle with the Kangaskhan getting the para, I think it was kind of blown out of proportion. I think it definitely affected the game. I
Mm-hmm.
think I easily was still in a winning state from that, even if I didn't get the para.
Yep. And that's just like when you're running Kangaskhan with Body Slam, you're bound to get some paralysis. It's Body Slam.
Oh yeah,
Was it like 30% chance? Even higher than that? No.
yeah, 30%.
Wow. Well, speaking of your team, why don't we take a look? You've with the sixth overall pick, you snagged Decidueye, one of the stronger top tier options. Not the highest tier because there were still some 17 pointers up on the board. What drew you to picking Decidueye?
So as weird as this sounds, I was deep asleep the night before the started,
Mm-hmm.
and in my dreams, it came to me for
Oh.
some reason. Never have Pokemon dreams in my life. For some reason, there was just a Decidu, or I guess, what's little Decidueye? Not Rowlet, whatever the middle Evo is. In my dream, it
Dartrix.
evolved in front of me, and I was just like, "Wow, this
Premonition.
is the yeah, exactly." And I was like, "Oh, I have to grab it now." So I built the team around Decidueye. I think it's a pretty cool mon in this format, having two really good priority options in Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak, setup
Mm-hmm.
options, and can be defensive. I think it's just a super reliable first pick.
Yeah, for sure. And with the prevalence of like fighting types, having a ghost type on your team is pretty important as well.
Oh, for sure. I think it definitely did limit me a bit. First off, I'm getting rid of my grass type right away, which is a pretty common type, especially the lower in the format you go. There's a lot of good
Mm-hmm.
grass types available. Losing or drafting a grass type first definitely made team building a little rough. Same with ghosts, because there's honestly quite a few really cool ghost
Mm-hmm.
types I wanted to try out, but just couldn't fit it on with the Decidueye team.
You gotta follow the dream.
Yeah, exactly. I can't let it down.
Nope. But I've never personally drafted. I mean, besides like a speed tour, never drafted a low tier team. How does it differ from drafting in like a regular high tier draft? Are you looking for like the same
Um,
things?
for the most part, yes. I feel like a few types kind of stand out more than others.
Mm-hmm.
With it being such such low tier, fairy type becomes a lot less prominent, which is one of, if not the defining type in higher tier formats.
Yeah, for sure.
So it allows Pokemon, mainly fighting types, to be extra prominent and extra strong in a format like this. Really, plus a lot of fighting types have really good coverage,
Mm-hmm.
especially the higher tier ones. Uh, so how you draft your team, you got to really keep in mind your fighting type, or how to you're countering fighting types in the format.
Yeah, and your fighting type is Toxicroak, and I guess your fighting resist is Musharna, which is pretty solid. Like when we were tiering, Musharna like came to me as like that's a pretty good, strong Pokemon for 10 points. But
Yeah.
how do you envision like running this team? Like who's gonna be your stars? Who's gonna be like your defensive backbones? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So when drafting this team, I had two Pokemon that I really wanted to use. That was Decidueye and Musharna. Those were my first two picks, and I kind of drafted around them.
Mm-hmm.
When starting to like figure out my team, I knew that there was a core of 6 Pokemon that worked really well together, and if I did not get all 6 of these Pokemon, my whole draft kind of didn't fall apart, but they all synergize in a way where it really makes or breaks the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So with Musharna Decidueye, I realized the 4 other Pokemon that really all work together really well, that would be the main starting 6, would be Decidueye, Steelix, Charizard, Floatzel, Kangaskhan, and Musharna.
Yep.
I put a lot of emphasis in getting those first 5, and then after that, it was kind of just covering holes, grabbing what I was missing from the rest of the draft.
Right on. Yeah. Well, now that we have a good idea of what your team is, let's take a look at your matchup against JazzmMusic, who is off to a pretty hot start with a 2-0 undefeated record so far. They've had a couple seasons to get really comfortable with this format. I know you played in season 6 as well, but you still had the hiatus. They have some pretty heavy-hitting physical threats such as Electivire, Aggron, and Paldean Tauros, which bailed them out last week against Lulz. But backed by some pretty powerful low-tiered support and utility mons. How do you approach this type of matchup? This is like a bulky offensive team. Are you looking to like limit that offensive power from those 3?
More or less, yes. I think I don't have the best defensive matchup into this team at all. I think a lot of he just has a lot of wall breakers, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot, like you said, very bulky wall breakers outside of like Houndoom. So I do think I'm gonna more or less have to play pretty aggressive this week. Um, Probably have to run some like weakness berries where I can. Just
Yep.
see it, hopefully outmaneuver and get around it. He has some pretty glaring weaknesses on the type chart that I can exploit. Major one is the water.
Mm-hmm.
He only has 2 answers to the water type, and I have debatably the best offensive water in the draft in Floatzel.
Yep. Floatzel.
So if I can keep Floatzel healthy and chip down his 2 checks in Maractus and Blastoise, I think it shouldn't be too bad of a matchup for me.
Yeah, for sure. What about Prinplup though? Another pretty offensive water type, right?
Offensive is a word you could say. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
huge
bad at
threat.
all. It's just I think more if it does come, haven't overly started prepping, did a mon or 2, but if it does
Mm-hmm.
come, I feel like it's more of like a defensive
Yeah.
mon that can kind of sit on the Blastoise. I haven't run the calcs for it. Maybe sit on the Aggron. Just help me flip, turn around, roost off damage where I can, get some rocks up.
Nice. Yeah. And I want to ask this question: if you had to predict the outcome and score of the game, what would it be, and who comes out MVP?
Obviously, not going to vote against myself. I think I'm going to win. But I do see it being very hyper offensive matchup. So I can very easily see both of us having to sack quite a bit of Mons just to get it. I'm going to go on a bold prediction, just go 2-0 me. And I think either Floatzel or Decidueye are coming out as MVPs this week.
Awesome. Well, looking ahead at the rest of your season here in Celebi, have you set any personal goals for yourself? And are you hoping for that deep playoff run and hopefully chasing a second championship?
Of course. I mean, it's been getting another championship has been a long time coming. BTDL was like my first non-Smogon Tour draft. Won it all first season that I've joined and played. And ever since then, I've gone one or two here and there, but for the most part, I've been slacking a little, getting lazy at times. So I definitely want to come out and get another championship, especially after last week where I lost a brutal championship that I should have won.
Ooh, in what league?
It is called PSL.
Oh, PSL.
By the GOAT Crimson.
And if you get the second championship, you won't have Muffin on your ass being like, yeah, you got a championship with a bunch of plumbers.
Exactly.
He loves dogging on season 2 for no reason.
Hey, that season 2 Entei was a pretty stacked format, especially with such high tier Terras. There was so many threats that you really had to figure out your shit to be able to prep against them. I'm lucky I got 2 of the best Terramons.
Not the best. I got Terra Dragonite, my boy. Could have had MVP season. I was one
that
kill
Terra
off.
Dragonite pissed me off so much.
Yep.
I remember losing against you. I was pretty salty afterwards.
I think that was the last week of the season before playoffs.
I think so, because I was really worried after that loss I wasn't making playoffs anymore. You dropped me down to like the 6th or 7th seed.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I ended 5-4.
Well, you came away with it. The champion. That's all that matters. But I beat the champion, so that's also what matters.
That is true.
All right. Well, that's all the time. That's all the time we've got for today. Maybe I'll come celebrate next season, and we'll face each other.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta have that run back. I don't think I've faced you since.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Glacier, and welcome fully back into the league. We're all looking forward to watching how the rest of your season unfolds. Do you have any final words you'd like to share with the community before we wrap things up?
If you'd like, come support us in the UDL. We're entering our team tour against other servers. We're starting to wrap up drafting, and we all know the best format is ORAS, and I'm going to be running ORAS. So come watch some of the games. It'll be pretty fun.
You're the only format that's actually done, like fully done drafting.
Damn right, because it's the best.
You guys are goats. All right, well, thank you again, Glacier, and take care.
Of course, thank you. Bye.
Today I'm joined by JazzmMusic. Jazz first joined us back in our very first offseason during the Little Cup season. Do you remember that, Jazz?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Where they finished at the top of the division before falling just short in the finals. Oh, you didn't play in the finals, did you? Alright. Since then, their mainline seasons haven't been quite as impressive. But this season in Celebi, things are looking very different. Jazz off to a strong start, undefeated heading into Week 3. Both you and your Week 3 opponent, Glacier, managed to take down LOL's last season's runner-up, and a proven strong competitor. Well, welcome to the show, Jazz, and congrats on the hot start.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's pretty cool, I gotta say. Winning my first 2 games might be the first season that I've managed to do that since the Little Cup season. I've got a real nasty habit of throwing my week 1 just for a little bit of fun. But yeah, things are looking pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah, and you got a pretty strong team. We'll take a look at it right now, as you had the wheel pick this season, and he came away with one of the heavier rosters. Like literally, the median of the top 4 picks that you took are like the weight of 260 pounds. And I did
They
the
are.
math. Yes, they're chunky boys. Your team features some massive heavy hitters who can both tank and dish out serious damage. They're backed up by some smart utility picks at the lower points, which rounds things out quite nicely. Can you walk us through your drafting process? Do you usually lean towards this bulky offense team?
Yeah, I think I'd say so. The bulky offense is typically more the vibe that I tend to play well in. These kind of bulkier Pokemon like Gouging Fire, that kind of thing. Uh, I've never been too great with the with the fast frail offense, as my
Yeah.
incredible Darkrai season might lead you to believe. Um, but yeah, this is pretty much just it's a little bit of a standard draft for me. Usually when I do this kind of draft, I like to start out and pick one Pokemon that I'm like, that's the Mon I want to use, and then everything else kind of goes around them. So this season it was Mr. Toys himself, big man Blastoise.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got him, and I was like, this guy is pretty sick. And then after that, I was like, well, I gotta get something to eat these electric type hits, and Evire is right there, and he, I gotta say, it feels maybe a little more like he's the team captain at this point.
Yeah, he's your kill leader, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think he's yeah, at 4 or 5 maybe. I haven't been
he's
keeping too much of a count.
5th place right now. You did let him die, which it's alright, but
Yeah, my bad. Maybe he'll forgive me, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll miss Supercell Slam next game. What can you do?
calling out your own Pokemon. Is there some locker room beef going on?
Yeah, Evire and Maractus are kind of getting into it right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's oof. My 2 electric resists can't even get along these days. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, other than that, what I pick next? I got, Houndoom, just real strong offensive guy. When I was looking at the board this season, I really thought that dark types were very important here, because there's like 3 good fairy types on the board.
Yep,
So
sure.
I wanted to get a big strong one, and I think Houndoom is maybe one of the stronger ones on the board.
Yeah.
And then, Alcremie, one of said 3 good fairy types, if even.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then after that, everything really fell into place. I needed a rocker. I got Aggron because I wanted to steal as well. Wanted a fighting. Tauros is kind of good, believe it or not.
Yeah, Tauros was eating
know,
it up last week, right?
Tauros bailed me out of a game that, to be honest, I probably didn't deserve to win. But, a win's a win, and if you win on a Tauros fucking speed tie, that's...
I think we watched that
happens.
game.
Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it came down to, because Tauros speed tied Adamant Choice Scarf, Decidueye.
Right.
And I think it came down to the coin flip, because I think they had the Oko with probably Brave Bird. And if not, then, the chip would have let Sneasel do the thing. But
Yeah.
that's beside the point. Other than that, Doug Trio's really fast. I wanted that guy. Oricorio, I wanted a flying type special attacker. I thought that would go pretty well with this style of team. And then with my big 9 points, I looked at my awesome type chart and realized I had exactly 1 water resist and 1 ground resist. And I went, well, I need to get a grass type now.
Yep.
and I also need a grounded poison before I get toxic spiked to death. So Raktus Beedrill kind of just filled what I needed in the end.
Nice. So round it out at the end.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at your matchup against Glacier, who's back in the league after a hiatus, even though they've been a replacement coach. His team looks pretty threatening with SteveGuy as his first round pick, and he's got some strong, bulky offense of his own with Pokemon like Kangaskhan and Steelix. What's your mindset going to the game without giving too much away? How do you plan to handle his offensive core and set yourself up for success?
Well, I would say my number one thought going into week 3 here is, oh god, Floatzel is very strong. That guy is pretty tanky, so I would say,
Surprisingly
Glacier's
so.
Yeah. Glacier's got a pretty strong team, and it's got a lot of threats on it that are a little scary here, but I've got some key ones that I see that I think need to go, and boy, I let me tell you, I've got some cooked up here that I'm hoping to let them. I'm hoping and praying that. Well.
If I can promise
yeah,
that
sure.
this interview comes out after the game.
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, we're getting a great return. Anyone, if you watched my week 1 game, you may have seen a beautiful core for a Basculin, which included a Fizz-Death Blastoise and a Fizz-Death Maractus.
Okay.
And those two may be making a return here. I'm also, unleashing my patented, my favorite strategy, which is to put Scarf on as many Mons as I can, and hope that kind of works out.
Right.
So a couple of choice Scarfs. Honestly, this matchup is very interesting to me because when I'm prepping for it, almost like I'm looking at all my Mons, and almost all of them, except Beedrill, have some kind of interesting niche that I feel like I would want to bring them for. And then looking at my opponent's Pokemon, I kind of feel the same about that team. Like, I really feel like almost anything could come in this matchup, which makes it really interesting to me.
And those are probably the most fun games to prep for because you're like prepping for your entire team instead of like
Prepping for
6 strong Pokemon that will probably come anyways.
Yeah, prepping for a full team, but also, trying to figure out, battle in the team builder, like which Mons you think is going to come, what's important to have, counters for over others if you have to make like sacrifices. As much as I'd love to bring my entire team, I can't bring the 10v6, so certain Mons are going to have to get left behind. And perhaps, not bringing something like Aggron might be my undoing, but it really is, there really is a lot to think about here.
That's tough choices you gotta make. Who's sitting on the bench?
Well, poor Beedrill, it's not his week. I can't
Is
even
it ever
really
his
think
week?
would do. Well, he came week 1.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything, but
Well, maybe
I
one
brought
week
him
he'll
in.
get the kill.
I brought him for insurance for Aromatisse, but that Mon didn't even come. So, tough world out here for a B. Alcremie, probably not. Alcremie's not coming this week. I don't think they have a single Mon that's weak to Fairy, so might not be a surprise.
Okay.
No Aggron this week. It really just, I can't really sacrifice a team slot for it. It's as much I do want Rocks, but Aggron is too slow and has too many bad matchups here. Even something that you think would be good, like Kangaskhan, who I expect to come, switching in, taking a power up punch for like half my health, and then suddenly I'm going to die doesn't seem very fun,
No.
personally. Who else isn't coming? Um, honestly, I'm still deciding whether or not Oricorio will make some kind of comeback this week.
Appearance. You
It
did run Air Slash
That's the world,
with
yeah.
Hurricane last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I knew I would miss hurricanes, and I did. So,
So you missed.
you know,
You went 1 for 3.
damn, was it really 1 for 3? That's
I
tough.
think so. Yeah.
Mhm. I have a beautiful Oricorio set in mind for probably not this matchup, but some week. Watch out, because
Sometime in the
Blunder
future.
Policy Oricorio is on the
Uh-oh.
horizon.
Well, let's take a look at the horizon. You're looking
Mhm.
at the rest of the season. You have any personal goals that you set out for yourself, or are you more focused on trying to continue this undefeated run that you found yourself in? Maybe even make a push for playoffs.
Oh my gosh. My goal this season, we're just gonna keep it somewhat realistic. I've gotta get a win in playoffs. Just even one game at
Right.
this point. I think I've gone what 0-3 for playoff games. It's
0-2.
it
0-2.
0-2. That's really
Yeah.
not that much better. But yeah, I mean, um, I'm just, really hoping for just a good season. This is, probably the strongest start I've had, and honestly, one of the teams I feel that I've had that's been the strongest. I'm really
Mhm.
happy with it. So, I'm hoping just to keep the streak up. I'm hoping to get playoffs. And I mean, you know, if taking home the gold would be pretty cool.
Would be
I
cool.
can't lie. It would be pretty cool. Uh, but yeah, I'm always looking to improve is pretty much my goal whenever I play draft. This is my 10th season, I believe, in draft
Well,
league. Yeah. And I like to think I've come a long way from 1-7, 0-8,
yeah, you
like
definitely came a long way.
Yeah. Chinchino is bringing me to a positive win record, one game at a time, right?
For sure.
But mhm. But yeah, that's pretty much my goals. Just focus week by week and try and have as strong of a season as I can.
Awesome, yeah. That's basically all the questions I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, Jazz, and best of luck in your matchup against Glacier this week. But before we wrap up, do you have any final words you'd like to share with the community, maybe to your rivals?
You know, please, please stop bringing fast, strong water types against me. I'm begging. That's all I really want. You guys could leave that at home. I'd appreciate that. And also, watch out for this bee, by the way, because the
Ooh, the
bee drill
bees.
6-0, we called it at the beginning of the season. It's happening.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Well, take
Thanks
care.
for having me.
Yeah. Bye bye.